Okay, I'm going to make a quick video, guys, about getting closer to God in 2024 because, we all genuinely think that we know God, but we really don't know God. We hear things on the internet and what people actually say, but that actually isn't getting closer to God. Having a relationship with God Himself is important. To me, religion is a cult. But spirituality is a way of life because spirituality is having a relationship with God. Religion is following a tradition, copying what other people say. But having a relationship with God is actually building your faith and not relying on this person, that person, who you don't know, what their fate is destined to be, because you genuinely don't know if they're a good person or not. No matter what they say or the actions they put out into the universe or what they post on the internet, you genuinely don't know their fate or their destiny with God. Because some people are very good at acting. Some people are very good at pretending that they're good people, but you don't know what their fate it is for God. Some people have done so much evil things so they can gain the world. Maybe it be fame, maybe it be it that to be popular. They've gained so much from the world that they've sacrificed a lot. So that could be backstabbing people, killing people, deceiving people, just to gain the world, And those people could even be spiritual leaders or people that are highly sought after, highly favored, highly praised. And that's why I say build your relationship with God, because you don't know anyone's fate and you don't know that if they've made a deal with the devil. You don't know anybody's fate and you don't know anybody's heart. So that's why I say relying on somebody else whose fate you don't know is the biggest mistake you can make, having a relationship with God. Now, I always felt like I knew God. And I've always been on a spiritual journey for over 10 years. But it's like every day I feel like every day to me is like building a relationship with God. Every day to me is like getting to know God again. I need to learn. There's so much things that I need to do, like having a relationship with God. And it's like, understanding my values, my morals, is this of Christ? Obviously, I could make choices that seem worldly, but my intentions could be good. So it's like balancing out that kind of worldly desire and what I want, what my needs are versus what God's desires are, and walking in my purpose and knowing God and not, conforming to what society believes, okay, this is the way, because there isn't this is the way. There's different ways to connect. Like I said, you don't know if anybody has made a deal with the devil to get popularity, fame, to gain the world, to gain affluence, and you're just taking advice and listening to people who you don't know whose fate is. They could wear suits, but devils can wear suits as well. So all I'm saying is having a relationship with God and building a relationship with God based on you and God alone is so important. Learning the word. I always found it difficult because I'm a dyslexic reader, which is quite surprising because I'm a writer at the same time, but I always found it difficult to understand the word. I feel like when I was young, I was able to understand the word, and that's why I'm doing stuff like Bible studies, because I feel like that will enable me to enrich the word of God in me. And it's one thing to be like, oh yeah, God is the truth, God is this, God is that, but it's very important to understand the word, because that's how you defeat the devil. And I feel like I need to learn the word of God. I need to understand the word, and I pray, but it's also understanding the word. That's also one barrier that I need to know as well for myself, getting closer to God. So I'm starting by doing Bible studies. I want to order a new Bible, a simplified Bible, learning the stories all over again, and just getting closer to God, which means doing something every day that has a significance to God. Maybe it's cleaning up a specific space, because cleanliness is next to godliness. So it's cleansing is like a prayer, because then you cleanse your space of negative energy and you speak the word of God into the place that you've cleaned. So that's building a relationship with God, also understanding the word and like just incorporating something godly that I do every day. Maybe it be speak the word of God, maybe it be just pray, maybe it just be just like do something every day that has something to do with God. And I feel like that's just building my relationship with God. Whereas religion is more like you wear a uniform, you go to church, you do everything they say, but then you don't incorporate anything godly into your real life, into the real world. Like, it's one thing you can go on TikTok and you can go on YouTube and speak the word of God, but as a person, what exactly are you doing? Are you putting out good energy? Are you doing something that is spiritual, holy, or are you just speaking the word of God and causing chaos in other people's lives? Are you speaking the word of God and you're jealous of someone else's relationship? Because a lot of people can speak the word of God, but they have jealousy spirit in them. And that is not building a relationship with God. So 2024 is about getting closer to God. I always felt like I was closer to God, but genuinely it can get hard, because once you go into the world, they try to zap that energy of God out of you. And that's why it's highly important to get closer to God, especially in 2024, where times are hard and people are getting desperate. And I think the comparison and competitiveness of social media has made people want to be more evil and leave the godly part, but only incorporate God when it suits them or makes them look good or gains them followers. Like, I've been on my fashion journey and doing my thing for a very, very long time. And I remember, like, when I even started in 2017, 2016, people used to say, oh, they saw me on the algorithm, or they saw me on the For You page or whatever. And so I've been on my journey, and I know it's very, very slow, but I don't care, because, God is so important and God comes first. And whatever my purpose is, it has to have God in it. So if God says that's not my path, then that's absolutely fine. Because, like, when you have God, you don't worry about money is important, but, like, you don't worry about your future. You don't worry about all the things that you can't take if you die. Like, COVID happened. We didn't know COVID was going to happen. You don't know if someone's going to die tomorrow. You don't know if someone's going to die next week. You don't know if something major is going to happen. You don't know if there's going to be a crisis that shuts and locks the whole world down. So why fight for all these materialistic things that you don't need? Why fight for all these materialistic things that you can't take anywhere with you? When COVID happened and lockdown was, and everybody was in lockdown, you couldn't go on stage and perform. You couldn't use your money for anything. You couldn't go and buy. The only thing you had was, like, God and the word of God. So that's why building a relationship with God is so important, because if anything happens, you have your relationship with God. It's not when something is a crisis or something is last minute or something bad happens, that's when you want to talk about God, or you start pulling people into God, and that is the problem that we have with the world. A lot of people don't have a relationship with God until they have a crisis. It's like you want to help certain people and they don't want the help. They want to do their thing. They want to live their life. They want to mess around. But as soon as shit hits the fan, oh, I need to go to church now. I want to help. I want your help. But then when you're trying to take them into the word of God, they don't want to listen. And this is it. When you have Jesus, it eases off your pain. That's why people think, like, my life is easy. They think that I have it easy. They think I like my life because I have Jesus. Once you have Jesus, every knee shall bow. At the mention of his name, every knee shall bow. And that is what the word said. So people that have problems and exaggerate their problems and talk about God, they genuinely don't have God. Because when you have a God spirit in you and you have faith, all these problems that are so big to the world become minor to you. So you could have 0 followers and wear a smile. You can have 0p in your account and dance to the rhythm of your heart. You know why? Because you have Jesus. And a lot of people don't have Jesus. You could be struggling. You could be bankrupt. You could be in pain. But a lot of people don't have Jesus. And that's why their pain seems more than everybody else, because they don't have Jesus.